Welcome into AZ Audibles. I'm Haley Stasiak, and we've got the Audibles crew, Eric Sorensen and Jordan Ham. You guys made it out to some spring practices last week. What are kind of your first impressions coming into this next week?
Desert Vista has always had good quarterback play. Alex Farina, more recently Nick Thomas. It appears they may have another one in sophomore transfer Derek Klein. Klein threw for 23 touchdowns, about 2,000 yards at Galena High School in Reno. He comes in with a big arm and really tall, long, athletic player. With all that being said, Coach Dan Hines told me that it's still sort of a quarterback competition. They'll probably wait until the end of camp to decide who's going to be the guy down in Ahwatukee.
We were over at Hamilton as well, and so much has happened this offseason with them. They're ready to turn the page, and we know the names over there, Tyler Shuck, Jawar Jordan. But one guy that really jumped out to me was Manny Armenta. He had 3 touchdowns last year, but you could hear interim coach Dick Banaszewski just yelling his name constantly, but it was for all the right reasons. And he even said at one point, hey, mess up. I want to yell at you for the wrong reason. So this is a guy I think could fill in nicely as a backup running back, as a slot receiver, can make a lot of plays for the Hamilton offense.
Coming into the second week of spring football, we've got some more storylines to keep an eye on. Jordan, let's start with you. I'm
going to be looking at Red Mountain. This is a team that had Mountain Point up against the ropes this past postseason in the state semis. They were a 13 seed, a Cinderella team that almost took down the top-seeded Pride. But they return a lot of talent. We've talked about Lance Lawson, the two-way player. He does everything on offense for them, can run, can pass. They have certain packages in there where he's the quarterback. And they also return their starting quarterback, Austin Duffy. He had 22 touchdowns last year. And defensively, their leading tackler, Delton Jackson, with 82 tackles last year, coming back as well.
My storyline is Marcos Deniza. They're going to have a spot to fill at the running back position. Zaire Moss had 977 rushing yards. Behind him was Naz Greer. He had 218. Both are graduating, and defensively at linebacker, the Padres are losing Anthony Nicastro. He's walking on at ASU. He had 79 solo tackles, 113 total. But keeping an eye on sophomore Mario Gastelum, he's going to probably fill that role. He was right behind Nicastro with 94 total tackles and 53 solo.
I'm going to go out to the West Valley, and I'm going to focus in on Desert Edge. If you're first-year head coach Jose Lucero, how do you replace nearly 200 total touchdowns from quarterback Teron Thomas and running back / wide receiver Rashawn Johnson? That'll be something to keep an eye on. The good news is the Scorpions return one of the best offensive lines in the state, and Rocky Perez is back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher coming back for his senior season. As we've seen with Centennial guys, Desert Edge sort of just has a way of plugging and playing guys because the system is so conducive to success.
And Perez, one of the most underrated running backs in the entire state. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
That's what we've got for you this week on AZ Audibles. Be sure to check out Eric's zone read and more of our high school football content on sports360az.com. We'll see you next week.